They asked me to come back to a toxic job. This is for Black women in toxic jobs. I'm going to be sharing some information with you that I've never shared publicly about my journey in relation to resigning from a toxic job and then being asked to come back. So I want to share with you about the experience and what I did. If you don't know me already, I'm Dr. Kamani. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, a toxic job survivor, and more importantly, I'm a toxic job liberator for Black women. On my channel, I focus on supporting Black women leaving and healing from toxic jobs. So this topic, I was a little nervous to even do this topic because, again, I've never talked about this publicly. Only a few people in my circle know about this situation. So I'm sharing this with you because, again, this may happen to you. And I told you before that as I've been working on this Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black women with Marissa Price, which is May 18th and 19th, if you haven't registered, register and also tell other Black women about it. But as I've been working on this summit, like all these memories keep coming up. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing videos about it. So, different elements of what I've gone through, you may relate to it too. So, this experience, I've talked a lot about what happened to me at that toxic job, but I want to tell you about what happened when they asked me to come back. So I had resigned, and somebody asked me too in one of the comments section, does my old job watch my videos or do they know that I'm talking about them? Um, yeah, they do. So I know this because people from the old job are contacting me, emailing me, commenting, doing all kinds of stuff. And I also know that they're watching because on LinkedIn, it will show you the companies that people come from who frequently watch your stuff. And by far it's from the previous job. So I know they're watching. And when I resigned from the toxic job, when I sent it that letter of resignation effective immediately due to the workplace bullying and the toxic work environment that was causing me to become sick, which I indicated in the resignation letter. I named the workplace bully and her minions and all that kind of stuff. And I included on that email the superintendent of the school district. So they know. Okay. So, and in fact, the superintendent, after I resigned, he made a post on LinkedIn and I made a comment or something. And then he responded back to me. Sent me back a message saying, thank you. And I took this opportunity and I said, well, I'm no longer there. But my hope is that you, the school district treats Black staff differently than what I was treated. I had to take that opportunity. So anyway, yes, they know. They know. Okay. So the question, do they know? Yes, they know. And I don't call the name of where I used to work, but I make reference to it because I want people to know where I came from so that you are aware if you are thinking about going there or if you have people who work there, please support them. Okay. So I don't call them out by name, but when I say where it is, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. And the reason why I do that too is when we don't do that, then it makes us feel like we should be ashamed of something. I'm not ashamed of anything. These are the things people have done to me. Okay. Okay. So fast forward. So I had, been resigned for a while. And then I get a notification. I'm contacted from an administrator who is still at the former job, not in the same department I used to work in, but, you know, and asked me if I was ready to come back. And I was like, no, like, was I ever like, I didn't leave with the thought that I would want to come back. Like, I never want to come back there. I never want to see those people again. Now, not all the people, some of the people, a number of the people are really cool. I'm still connected to a number of the people, but the people who terrorize me, go back to that. Like, no, I would not want to go back there. So was asked to come back. And this is the part where I'm going to be this is the part I'm a little embarrassed about, but I'm going to be honest with you. So when that was presented to me, my thought was, well, first, I felt sick. Like I felt sick in my stomach, right? And that's a sign. So if somebody is proposing something to you or asks you to come back, just like ask you to come back to a relationship or something like that, and you feel sick to your stomach, you need to pay attention to that, right? So I felt sick in my stomach, but I started lying to myself, right? And I was saying, well, if I didn't go back there as an employee, maybe I can go back there and do contract work, but on my terms, right? So I would go and do things to support the program for Black students. Because remember, that's what I really wanted to do when I was at the toxic job. And they said no. Like my unit said, no, you absolutely can't. But they were telling the people in that other unit that I would. So I'm thinking, oh, well, I will be able to work with this unit on a contract basis and to help support Black students. But I'm lying to myself. So I'm saying this like I can do that, right? But then I'm thinking, why would you go right back into the lion's den? Why would you do that? Like, what are you doing? So, but again, you see how sometimes when you're in almost like an abused person, right? Like you go back to the abuser and thinking that something's gonna be different. Okay. So I talked to my husband about it because this is a family decision. Because when I was at the toxic job, it impacted my whole family because they saw me being harmed. They saw what happened to me. My husband, was a big support to me. And, he really helped me, get through this process, this healing, not healing, this coping, as I was trying to exit out the toxic job. So I told him, but I framed it as, they came back and they said they want me to, maybe do contract work with them and, da, da, da. And I explained the whole thing to him. And I said, but I'm not going to do it. Right. That's what I told him. I said, but I'm not going to do that. I don't feel good about it. I'm not going to do it. Right. Then I talked to my kids and I told them about it and they're teenagers. They were like, oh, well, go get the money. You the Harriet Tubman at the job. You saving Black kids. Go get the money, mom. Go get the money. Right. So they had a different perspective. So, but they also stressed to me, if this is just a little bit of time, we don't want you ever working for them. Right. But if it's a contract thing, okay. So I'm talking to other people, but I still feel sick in my stomach about it. Like I still don't feel good about it. And then I talked to a sister friend and she schooled me real quick, right? She was like, why would you do that? Just flat out, why would you do that? That's why it's so important to have good friends too. So she was like, why would you do that? That makes no sense. And she just laid it all out for me, right? And as she was talking, I was like, yeah, why would I do that? Like you're lying to yourself. And I even tried to lie to myself in a different way too, because I was like, oh, well, maybe if I make it like conditional, right? So contract basis, small amount of time. I will only do trainings for this department. I will not have any contact with uh, the unit, the division I came from. I will have no contact with the workplace bully. Like I named all these different things, like it's like a condition or something, right? And when I was talking to the sister friend, she was like, that makes no sense. Again, why would you go back into that system? The system's toxic, right? Remember, the system is toxic. So I, um, was still like back and forth, still not sure, whatever, right? Then I went back to my husband. I told him, I'm thinking about it, whatever. He's like, wait a minute. What? Like, I thought you said you were not going to do that. And I said, well, I'm thinking about it. He was livid, right? Like livid. Like, why would you do that? Why would you put yourself back in that situation? And I was with you. I was with you every day. And I saw how it impacted you. And I was there. I saw it. I bear witness to it. Don't go back there. Right. So I then contacted people back and they were going to pay me and, pay me well and all that kind of stuff. Right. I was like, nope, can't do it. This is a family decision. Can't do it. Do I have any regrets about that? Absolutely not. I do think that maybe that was part of my healing journey too. I had to have the offer of, oh, see, we want you back. And then for me to say on my own terms, I don't want to come back to that. I don't want to come back to the toxic system because the system hasn't changed. Now, the people I may have been working with, cool with them, the whole thing. But the system is still toxic. And even if I didn't have contact with the workplace bully and her minions, all that kind of stuff, the system is still toxic. So I wanted to share this with you, even though I'm embarrassed on some level that I was even lying to myself even after I left. So that just shows you the degree to which that stuff that happens to you at a toxic job, that can really get in your head and mess with you. And even after you leave, you still might be lying to yourself. And I was lying to myself, but I had people around me who cared about me and were like, no, not a good idea. Not a good idea, right? And so I ultimately said no. So if you're in a situation, you're in a toxic job, you leave, please don't go back. Please don't go back because you're in a toxic system. Remember, the system is toxic. So if you need some support, though, you might be scared about leaving the job. But what if they say all these, right? Like almost like a bad relationship. Like, we'll do this for you and it'll be great. And what, right? All the promises, but what are you setting yourself up for? And my hope is that you're setting yourself up for something different, not going back to something that more than likely is not going to be that different for you. Okay. So if you're looking for opportunities or options, come to the Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black women, May 18th and 19th. Come in, get your information, learn how to replace your income, learn all these things from powerful Black women who've already left jobs and are doing well. And it's a privacy consideration. Your name will not be listed anywhere. Your face won't be on camera. And if you have a question or comment, you can change your name of the platform. Okay. So register and also host another Black woman. So not only what we're doing for yourself, what you're doing for yourself, but also help other Black women too. So Marissa and I are on a mission to liberate 500 Black women this year for the summit. So it's going to be next year too, but next year's going to be a bigger. We're going to try to liberate more women next year. But this year, we are trying to liberate 500 Black women. So if you are part of this community, this is our collective goal. We're trying to liberate 500 of our sisters, okay? Yourself included. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Also share this video with at least 2 other Black women and give this video a thumbs up and turn the notification bell. Okay, see you later. Bye.